Bonjour my freaky darlings, I hope you're doing good. It's Benji here. Do you know what? I've literally just converted this into some sort of formal reclusive sort of thing, haven't I? Look at me, I'm in my dressing gown now, nice and snuggy-wuggy. And, like, this is the only time I can do this because I have a 2-year-old that, will always interrupt. No offence to her, she just wants to play. So, I am secluded to my bedroom at evening to make these videos avec toi. So, yeah, I just literally got my camera blaring in my face on my mobile with my torch because, I'm literally so cheap that I don't have a ring thing, but I just, again, how many times have I said I just don't care? I'm a working dad trying to be an author too. So, this is something new, my beautiful people. This is a chapter chat. So, what we're going to do, I'm not going to give away any spoilers or anything like that. So, quite how I'm going to talk about the chapter without doing that, I do not know. But there will be no spoilers. So, this is obviously for the first chapter of Beautiful Night, which is called Stars on Halloween. I will not give anything really spoilery away, but just to get a setting for you, there is the two characters that we have, which is the main character, Derek, and the character of Carol. And they are involved in a very, very, very dramatic turn at the beginning of the book, as to which Derek does not know why on earth the sequence of events is happening or what has prompted it. So if you've read it, obviously you know exactly what I'm talking about. I will just say, the chase. So the chase that happens, the setting is London at night time, and it's an exceedingly scary thing that happens. I don't know if anybody's ever had that thing happen to them in life. It's actually quite dramatic and probably quite rare, although it depends where you probably live. Yeah, no, it's an exceedingly frightening thing to have happen, and yeah, I think in that moment, the only thing I can liken it to is like when you're doing CPR on someone, your adrenaline just takes over. I know this is like a bit of a weird analogy, but if you think of CPR, if you actually do CPR and you're doing it correctly, if you're doing it on a training dummy, you're like, blimey, how do people keep this up for like an hour? You just do it with adrenaline. It's the same with running from something that is going to threaten your life and potentially kill you. You will tap into reservoirs of energy and quick thinking that you don't even know you had. There's been a few points in my life where that has actually happened, where time seems to actually slow down, and when you think about the moment, you're like, blimey, it happened so fast, but in that moment it felt so slow. So I was able to think, that's what I need to do, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do to either save myself or save someone that I care about. So obviously the title, Stars on Halloween, without giving anything dramatic away, obviously it takes place on the Halloween evening, like I said, in London at night. The stars, this is the only connection that I'm going to make for you, but have you noticed, if you've read Machina Utopia, Divinity's Flare as well, there are obviously a lot of connections between Beautiful Night and that book, for reasons that I will not tell you, unless you've read it and you know exactly what the reasons are for. But did you notice that the stars on Halloween, the star that Derek named for Carol is the Saturn star in Machina Utopia? So a little bit about how we follow Derek throughout the chapter. So at the first, obviously, he feels exceedingly confused because Derek really, really struggles socially with anyone, let alone with Carol, who is a very hardened, non-empathetic, well, this is how she comes across anyway, very stern, very cut to the chase, and she doesn't really have a lot of time for anything that does not interest her. She doesn't please people, she's not a people pleaser, she just doesn't particularly care. However, she does have some admirable qualities, her productivity, her clear thinking. You could question whether it was her clear thinking that got them out of the situation that they were in the first chapter. Or did it? Maybe read and find out. Plug! So Derek starts off very confused, upset as well, and quite lost. I mean, there's a part of the chapter where he does just go off by himself before the incident occurs, basically. And in that sort of solemn moment, he really does have to reflect inwards of how he is quite incapable, or at least he feels incapable, of communicating and just being on the same wavelength as other people. It's really an alienating thing that he feels, and he is very frustrated by it, and he really doesn't like being the way he is. Although that's kind of sad to say, because I love Derek the way he is. I think he's one of the most one of my favorite characters that I think I've ever written is Derek. I just love him so much. I think if I was to ever, there was a physical manifestation of him, I would just want to hug and not let go of him. He's just lovely, lovely person. Which is why it's so shocking when things start to crank up the pace by a million, going 0 to a million instantly. Derek responds the way that he responds. He responds in a very adrenaline surged way, where it's survival mode and fly or die sort of thing. So it just goes to show that although we may be different and we might struggle to communicate with each other, primarily you do have those survival instincts which are quite similar from human to human. What's also very interesting is that Derek's not a very violent character in the slightest, yet when you are thrust into violence, you then have to completely reassess what lengths will I go to here to protect myself or someone I care about without losing my sense of self. For example, like your morals. If you've got decent morals, you're not just going to go and smack somebody randomly over the face with a crowbar, are you? But if somebody is coming at you with a weapon, what do you then do? What lengths do you go to protect yourself or the people that you care about? It really does depend on your morals. It depends on you as a person. Also depends on, obviously, Derek as a character as well and how I've written him. But yeah, you'll be pleasantly surprised. I think a lot of people, because Derek's so socially awkward, people would also think that, oh, that constitutes something like timidness or shyness, or no, it really, really doesn't, because he does want to get to know people, but at the same time, the action sequences in the first chapter reveal that he is anything but timid. So yeah, that was a good little chat, wasn't it, my lovelies? So if you have not purchased Beautiful Night already, please do feel free to do so. I'll put all the links to it down below. It is available physically off of Amazon. It's also available digitally on Kindle, Kobo, and iBooks as well. And like I said, I'll put the links down below. Right, take care, my lovelies. I loves ya. Actually, do you know what? This is actually pretty good. I get to drown people out by listening to music, and I don't have to see them either. This is just win-win.